questions, but Henrique, it's up to you. You can officially start. Thank you everyone for joining.
Nice. Thank you. So yeah, nice talking to you guys. This presentation was actually something that has been developing. I have been developing throughout I- the few the past few months, but we didn't have much opportunity. But I talked most of the things I'll be approaching here. I've talked in some of the meetings that we had, some things that I've been doing, and some of them were very helpful to some of the colleagues. So we decided that this would be interesting to put on a presentation and talk about this. First, let me introduce myself. My name is Henrique. Just one thing, just to let you guys know, it's raining a lot here. So if in case I stop talking, it's because my connection died, but I'll be back, okay? Just to let you know that. But yeah, my name is Henrique. I am a front-end developer. I've been working as a front-end developer for the past 6 years, and I'm a developer since 2017. I like music, games. I like drinking beer, and I also like football, the real football, not American football that does not exist. That's a bogus thing. And I started here at Giga. I want to go, you know, international in an international career because there are lots of things, but basically the payment. Uh, I don't want to go back on working on site. I love home office, and it's also a way to stay working at home. The opportunity to go through different cultures, get to know different people is also a plus for me. And I had a problem. I started to look to search about international careers like 2 years ago, something like that. But I had some interviews. I got like one or two interviews, but I couldn't understand how the things happened, how the things worked, and I couldn't get interviews, and it was very frustrating because I got an interview like once every 2 months or 2 or 3 months, something like that, and that was a problem for me. I also have faced other problems, but that's how can I say? Those are other things that are related to it, but it's not the main focus here. But the first problem that I had was to get interviews, and now because of what I did and what I'm going to share with you, that is basically what I did in January and February. This is not a problem for me, so I think that's a good thing. And basically, I started talking about this and sharing with you how it all started, what motivated me to, uh, get this kind of knowledge. Is basically in January, I had a 30 days notice because I still work for a company, a Brazilian company, that it's an outsourcing company, and basically, what we had was the client terminated some contracts, and the contract with the company that I am working was one of them. And the company was like, "Yeah, we work with outsourcing. We may have a different client for you to work or a different project, and we can, put you on a different project, something like that." But it's not guaranteed. So we're giving a 30 days notice to end our contract, and you can look for other opportunities. And eventually, there was not this necessity. We got a different job position for me inside the company, but I had to do something by myself, and I had a low SSI score as well. So basically, I was starting from scratch. Last year, I did some interviews. I was starting to do that, but I had to do something more intensive, So I started to apply to new positions, and I had new discoveries. And first, before talking about this, I have a disclaimer, which is that this presentation is about what I did that worked back in those months. Later on, I talk about Lucas. We had one meeting that was very nice for me, and I have some insights about things that I'm going to do. So some of the things I did worked. Some of them might still be working for most of cases, but we're not talking about absolute truth, because we talk about like algorithms and some things that are kind of in a shadow area. So when I say shadow area, is like we don't really know about some things. So it might be different for each case. So um, in my case, I did some things that I'm going to share, and I got a very interesting result. So that's what I'm sharing here. And yeah, uh, so basically, the first thing that I did was to look at my profile, my LinkedIn profile, and my CV. This is not the main focus of this presentation, but we're going to talk about this because it's related and important. The first thing is to look on your LinkedIn profile, and I'm going to share with you my profile here. My profile here, as you can see, it's in English, of course. And when I designed this profile, basically I used like certain words, like keywords, you know, and I used AI, of course, to help me with that, because it would take me a lot longer to do that. But one thing that I focused is to put the technologies that I am, you know, that I'm proficient at, and I want to work with them. So basically, that's what I did, and I also used like some adjectives like creating scalable applications to deliver awesome value. That's kind of a cliche, but telling people what I can deliver, you know, and also uh, on the job positions itself, I used like some of the objectives, that not objectives. Sorry, it's like the main highlights, the responsibilities that I had in those job positions. Also the technologies, but telling, look, what I did, like uh, you know when we are here at Giga, we use the STAR method. We are taught how to use it, and I try to do like that in a written version. So that's what I try to do. To put the highlights, like I did this and that, and it came out with a different, not a different, this action that we did had this result, increased something. So to put in a very tangible way things that we did. Okay, so this was very. I think it was very important, but this is something I'm still working on. This is a work in progress. Like I said, Lucas gave me some insights, and I'm working with that. So there are a few aspects in my profile that I still have to improve. So it's everyone here, it's important to keep in mind that your profile, it's a work in progress. It can always get better, or you can experiment and do new things. But my profile is way better than it was like last year. So that's one thing. Another thing that I looked and I thought it was very important was my curriculum. My curriculum was very, very, very bad, and I looked about some some ways to improve it. One that I could find was to use two techniques. Yeah, actually, not exactly techniques, but to look about two things. One of them is ATS, which is it's an acronym for Automated Tracking System, something like that. Which is basically when we have when there is a job position that you apply nowadays. Companies, they use AI to make a triage about the profiles, and to see who the AI think it's a better fit for this position. So I took that into account in order to build my profile. I also used especially in this beginning part, some keywords. But this is also something I've been working on. I had some insights this is actually a lot better from the one I used in January and February, but I'm still working on it, and it's also something that is continuous improvement. We're used to that word, so that's also it. And and I also use a template called Harvard template, which is used by Harvard. I have those links here. I'm going to put this presentation maybe later. I can send to Vinicius and we make this available to everyone. So basically, this first link here is a link for a place where you have lots of templates that you can use and export. This one is a template, the Harvard template that they use. So it's also quite important. You can use it. And this one here is a tool that analyzes the ATS of your profile, of your resume. So it's also a good insight that you can also use it to work on your profile. So yeah. So we talked about those things. We talk about now, how to get those job positions and how to apply. So basically, there are some, I would say, like three main ways, and some of them are, I would say, not that much of direct applying, but they are also very important. The first one is, of course, getting the jobs on the job section on LinkedIn. This is, I would say, the first thing that everybody does because it's you have that that section on LinkedIn, and it's very you have lots of positions there. You have on an easy access. You have simplified application, so it's quite good. The problem is that the return rate when they call you back to talk about this job position is quite low. From the other ones, I would say that it's quite low. There were some cases that people talk about like a fake position. Some companies that they just want your data and they use that. So I don't know how much of this is true, but I saw some stories about this. So keep that in mind. But it's quite good if you apply, a lot. You will get some returns from companies. So you can't dismiss that. It's quite good. Okay. Another one, and I would say is one of the best, is using the search bar. We talk about this here at Giga. So basically, there are LinkedIn posts. You can put your position here. I'm just sorry about using this in Portuguese. I wasn't able to change this, but you put here your position. You put LATAM, which is like Latin America, and there will be some posts about, from recruiters. Okay, and you can use that. You can apply to those positions. The only bad thing is as the time goes by, there are comparing to the job section, I would say that there is like a lower number. So what happened to me is that after a few weeks, I continued seeing new posts, but those were like from job positions that I already applied. So that was kind of bad. I guess that this would depend because I'm a front-end developer. So I don't know, a guy that works with Java or any position that has a bigger number of job positions, I think it would be a lot better. So, and this also is very good. I'm going to talk about this in the future, this presentation, that you can use this to create a networking with the recruiters. So that's also very important. Okay. Another way is to use queries in Google. I got some interviews with that technique. Is basically using you know using Google like the same way you would use the search bar in LinkedIn. You can use Google for it. Uh, Virtually, there are no limits because it's Google. You can find lots of things there. But the problem is that it's a less qualified search, I would say. You get a lot of junk. For instance, job positions that are closed, job positions that are not actually for Latin America developers, so you gotta search a little bit more about this opportunity, but you can get some very nice opportunities and job interviews. At the first job interview that I passed on the technical interview was from Google search. So that it's a good approach. And um, and yeah, here I have some queries. Before getting to know this opportunity, I already knew how Google queries worked, but eventually I searched about this, and AI can help you to create some queries. Those are like some, how can I say, suggestions, but you can use like a ChatGPT and look, help me get some to use queries to get job interviews. Uh, One thing, those first two here, those are two, those websites, Lever and Greenhouse. They're very used by international companies, so it's quite good to look on those. And yeah, so it's a very good option to use it. And then I go. So those three that I told you, those three techniques, I would say, those are like active searching, direct searching for job interviews. I would say that there are others, and I'm going to approach them here, tell you, but those are not. You are not applying directly. You're basically creating relationships, which is also very important. But and I got some job interviews with that. But keep in mind that the results may vary. Okay. The first thing is also using the search bar, but instead of looking for posts, is looking for recruiters. So you can use like words like talent acquisition, and then you will look. You can look in certain locations. In this example here, I used Estonia because I heard they have lots of job positions for Brazilians, for Brazilian programmers, and because they have a lot of startups. So you can find recruiters, and basically what you should do is like adding those people and sending them a message like, yeah, I've seen you are looking for developers. Uh, you know, my name is Henrique. I work as a software developer. I'm from Brazil. In case you have some job positions, feel free to call me. If this person already had some posts like looking for a front end engineer, is even better because you can put like, hey, look, I've seen that you had in the past some positions of for front end engineers. My name is Henrique. I'm looking for a job position. Feel free to call me if you have any other position. Why is this important? Because most of those people, recruiters, uh, I say most of them, not all of them, okay? They make their money by hiring. So in case they refer me and I get hired, they make their money. So they, instead of waiting them to approach you, you are approaching them. You are inverting the game. Um, it might work. It might work. I think it's a good approach. However, you don't do that with quantity. Why? Because you can be restricted on LinkedIn. Okay. So you can do that, but be aware that this can cause some problems in your account. Okay. Um, Another way, of course, is having an SSI. This print is not mine. I wish it was. But it's a good way to have your profile be seen. There are other ways, of course. If you apply to lots of positions, you probably will get lots of views. It's also important. But if you have a profile that is that it doesn't have to be with 89 points, but in the beginning, when I started to apply, I was with 33 points in SSI. I started to interact and make posts, and then I was able, in like 3 to 4 weeks, I was able to go from 33 to 50. So it doesn't take that much time, just some effort, like doing some comments during the day, once a week doing like one post, and you can grow your profile. And then recruiters will come eventually. So that's also a good way. Okay. And there are some paid options. And I have some restraints about this. The only thing, whether it's good or not, do not use, and I can't stress this enough, do not use AI auto applications, okay? They are being sold like magic. I actually hired one of them, which is this one, auto apply, but it sucks. This auto apply was like kind of expensive. I paid like 200 and something real, and it made like almost 300 applications and no returns. So it's not good. Okay, I don't recommend. The only thing about auto apply is that uh, uh, actually not to auto apply. This company AI apply, they have other products. They have one of them which is called used to build custom resumes. This one I would recommend because it's good, and I got interviews using that tool. And they also have job listings. That it's from their own job listing. So in this case, it's good, but don't use auto apply. There are other options in the market, like there's one that is Brazilian, like vaga automática, something like that. I don't recommend. I've heard some people that used it and also just wasted the money. So I don't recommend that. Okay. And other useful tips, and this is the final part, is basically that what makes you get interviews, it's consistency and volume. Okay. I talked about like three techniques here that you can use, and like at least more two other actions that you can also do to get you job interviews. If you do that, you will get results. So consistency and volume are the key here. If you do like 5 applications a day, which is what I did, you do 150 a month. If you get like a 10% return, it will be 15 job interviews that you will have. So it's quite good in 1 month. Um, I had more than that in January. In January, there was like I don't remember the exact numbers, but I had like 2 weeks in a row that I had like 6 or 7 interviews, something like that. So there was also the moment that was a good moment because it was in the beginning of the year, so the market was better. There were more job positions, so you can also take that into account. Okay. Another thing, and I talked about here about having AI apply to build your profile, which is what I did. I had some companies that I found that were companies that I was like, I really wanted to work in that companies. So in those scenarios, I built a custom profile for them. I looked at the job position, and I had like a my resume was like exactly with all technologies that they wanted. So I you can also do that. It's good, but it will take you time, and sometimes there's not there's the possibility of not having the result that you want. Okay, and yeah, I didn't talk about this one here to map all your applications. You got to do that because it can get very messy quite fast and quite easy. Okay, do like a spreadsheet or something. It's quite good to do that. And AI is an ally, so use AI like we use that, when we are doing code. Like always check what AI is doing. At least you're supposed to. If you don't do that, I don't know. It's okay, but it will eventually give you some problems. So okay, yeah, and that's it. That's it from my part. Thank you for your attention. And yeah, if you want to talk about things, if you have any questions about this study case that I presented, I'm happy to talk about this with you.
Very nice, very nice, very nice. Thank you, Henrique. Guys, what do you think about also mentioning your own experiences, you know, with international interviews? If you want, you can stop sharing your screen for now, Henrique, and then we can see
Mhm.
everyone else.
Let me just close this one here. Um, I think that computer, because I'm using two computers, this one, the connection fell. The connection cut, so I think I won't be able to.
Done.
Oh, okay, yeah.
No, yeah, it is fine. All right. So, anyone want to share their experience with international interviews? Please feel free. Or if you have any specific questions for Henrique, now is the moment, okay?
Actually, I have one question. It's not about the how to get these appointments, but because you experienced a lot of interviews and you are front end like me,
Mhm.
I have my question is about the process regarding the system design, because we are front end, and most of the system design is about back end and infrastructure. But recently I saw some approaches, some interviews focused on front end, that kind of deep dived into the front end side itself, like
Mhm.
storage management and this kind of stuff. And I would like to ask to you how they are approaching when the position is for a front end focus, in this dynamics.
Very nice. Yeah. So yeah, I would say that nowadays this can change, but nowadays system design on the front end, it's a minority on the interviews. Okay, but I have done one of them, and it's basically what you did. It's like they talk about multiple like aspects on the front end, and it's very focused on choosing technologies, and talk about the trade-offs. So basically, I have they give you like in any system design interview, they give you some business rules, and you have to balance all the trade-offs basically of what you are doing, and saying, look, I would choose this technology, that technology, because of this or that. I would structure my state management, my store using, I don't know, uh, this like Redux because of this and that. And sometimes it can get on a very specific aspect, like I would have how you would structure your store, for instance. If you would have like how are you going to deal with the requests Are you going to have like a service layer or something like that? How would you structure components? Are you going to have like a design system? If so, how were you going to do that? So this type of thing, and basically talking about trade-offs. And they also, one thing that happened a lot on not a lot. I had like 3 system design interviews on based on front end. They talk a lot about infrastructure, like would you deploy? How are you going to do the authentication? How are you going to coordinate that with the backend team? Something like that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But are you going to deploy on AWS? How is it going to be? Are you and sometimes it also gets on detail, like, okay, you're putting on AWS. How are you going to do? Are you going to like use S3, create a bucket, something like that? So that's basically how it works. There's a very good site for that website called Great Front End, and they have I think it was Gabriel here that referred me this website. It has lots of articles about system design on the front end, so you can check this out. It's like this. I'm going to put here.
Yeah, we'll do.
If
Great
you
front
pay the
end.
subscription, you also get access to like some front-end focus design systems.
Nice.
Interesting.
But yeah, it's a good resource for front-end.
Yeah, we'll try. Nice. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Any
Very
other
good.
questions?
Guys,
Curses?
I have one question, not directly to Henrique, but I listened the talk, but I understand the interviews is based in the back end and front end, or specialized in the one tool. Do you have this or no?
Sorry, you specialize in what?
No, because I not made my presentation. I'm Thiago. Just a minute. I changed this is better, okay? Because it is inside the other screen. It's better to make the conversation. And I am working with IT during 27 years. Okay, I started my career. It's a long time, but nowadays I am working with .NET C Sharp. It's 15 years, but I am working with Salesforce technologies around 11 years. 11 years. I started my career in 2015, and I made interviews, international interviews, but it's specialized in one side. It's specialized in CRM technologies. Okay, we have
Mhm.
one language, a specific language. Okay, but using the other language. Okay, the Salesforce working in running using the Apex. It's a similar at Java and .NET C Sharp. But I have the difficult when I made 2 interviews with need to explain about JavaScript and front end, because the part of the components that I am building using the JavaScript, CSS, and HTML. And okay,
Okay.
it's
Mhm.
I need to directly study more about these technologies. You made a suggestion to me to understand more about JavaScript and documentation or other.
Yes. Yeah, I would say so. I don't know. It would depend on the type of job position you're applying, but if it would be like a full stack position, focused, I would say, it would be interesting to understand a little bit on how the front end is structured. Okay. Because they will probably ask you some stuff about how the client is going to make requisitions, for instance. So it's quite important to know that. I don't know if for a system design would be interesting to know, like, um, how can I say, the aspects of JavaScript language. I think it's important to know. Like I had one interview last Tuesday that they asked me on the system design about JavaScript event loop. So it's important, but I would say to do that on a second basis. but just to understand how the front end works, how it does the requisitions, how it can be structured on a general view. I think it's an interesting approach. Yes.
Okay, thanks. The LWC Lightning Web Components in Salesforce use the pattern three W3C. Okay,
Okay.
it's the same pattern because the market uses this. It's more easy to get the people to working with these components.
Yeah. Well, W2C, it's a quite, I would say, a quite old pattern, but it's still being used basically mostly on, yeah, it's part of the whole, I forgot the word. It's like a standardization on the web and also providing accessibility. But nowadays,
Yeah.
if you use a framework, some frameworks they have their own ways to increase accessibility. So it might vary. This is something that it's quite difficult to be approached on front end focused interviews. So I would stick to mostly on how it works and how it does the requisitions and how it is built. So I think you would be better on going on that path. Okay, but that's my opinion. I think you
No,
might.
thanks
Yeah.
about this. Thanks for that.
Thank you.
Right, very nice. I wanted to hear from Lucas Carneiro. He's our specialist here at Giga. His opinion about getting international interviews. If he allows me to say, he was actually overemployed for a while, and he was the overemployed guy. Not as much as the Chinese woman who had 10 jobs, but he was halfway there, right?
Yeah, literally halfway there. What I already had 5. If I consider Giga 6 simultaneously. And the thing is about getting international interviews, especially when you are already employed, right? You are in a different mindset than when you are actually unemployed. When you are actually unemployed, you go hard on job hunting. You do custom curriculum, you apply for every single job, every single platform. When you're already employed, you have to go in a more sustainable pace, right? So you do strategies to make your profile appear more to recruiters passively. So recruiters reach out to you and you are now looking for the same salary you are in or a higher one, right? And in order to do that, you have to have a few habits. And I actually stopped tracking job applications, for example, stop customize curriculum and optimize for myself to what I know, to what's going to be less stressful, and I'm going to be where I will be more able to be productive in different environments, right? And for example, LinkedIn, what I usually recommend is just to constantly applications in a range of like 10 to 30 job applications a day, every single day. Okay. And increase your network as well. So you get new connections every single day as well, like 10 to 30 new connections every single day with recruiters from outside, from Latin. Like there is a list of specific countries that you should focus on. That is Colombia, Argentina, Mexico, India, uh, Ukraine, Russia. These places is where the HR from of Latin are located. So the tech recruiters that are hiring Latin professionals are in these countries. So you just connect to these people, tech recruiters or talent acquisitions professionals, and apply to 10 to 30 jobs every single day. This way, the algorithm will know that you are looking for a job and will deliver your profile. And that's what I do. Of course, you have to optimize your profile. You have to keep your curriculum up to date using the keywords properly. That's also crucial. And accept new interviews unstopped, without stop. Do interviews every single week, and then you got a new job, and then you got another job. And of course, and that's a moment you have to decide when you are between 2 and 3 jobs, because a fourth job is impossible, right, to handle, to deal with, because too many meetings, unless you are in a Havling. We are very lucky and you don't have a lot of meetings. You are like in 4 jobs that have 2 meetings a week, 3 meetings a week, right? And that's the sweet spot. But usually it will not be the case. Usually they are paying well because it's a complex environment, a complex product or something like that. Then you have to decide to get more jobs and outsource every single one. So beyond 4, when you are in this limit, you have to decide, like, make less money for a moment because you're hiring 4 people to impersonate you in these 4 jobs, and you are just attending meetings. And then you start to looking for more and more jobs. I think the limit is 11. That's what I said. The maximum a developer have that I met was 11 jobs, 10 to 11. And beyond that, you start to missing one. You are laid off in one and another because of performance or something. You are not able to contribute as they expected. Or you are pretty, really lucky and consistent. In one moment, you have like 11 jobs that is exactly the same, that you are having few meetings. They are not demanding a lot. They don't want your opinion. They want your tests done. This type of place, right? And that's it. So it's a matter of consistency. You have to make it optimal, unless you are unemployed. If you are unemployed, job hunting for every single moment you are awake, every single platform is possible. You don't need to track applications, especially if you already know that you need to track how if you are advancing in specific stages or not. For example, if you are bad in screening interviews, that is the first stage, right? The HR interview. You're like going to 10 interviews and not going to the technical stage in any of them. So you have something to improve in that stage. And after that, you need to improve something in the technical aspect. And then interview with an executive, a CTO or something like that, right? Or system design interview. And you have to have in mind, like, what you need to improve on that. You need to have interview reviews with us, mock interview with us. But mock interview is not enough. You have to record the real interviews and bring us so we can review and help you to improve in that particular stage to increase your numbers. And usually someone who is performing well in their market, have a good resume, have the experience, will have something around 5% of approval rate. Okay, since the job application, right? So you apply, you apply for 100 jobs, you get 5. That's like a really good profession that is performing really well, because most of the time, the reasons we are not approved to jobs is not up to performance, it's up to something that someone fits better. Someone was just working the same type of product as they are trying to hire right now. Someone have the same hobbies as the CTO or something like this, right? And that's it. And you are just have to track if you are being approved or not, if you are reaching the last stage or not, from time to time. Not for every single process, not for every single interview. You are not going to pull that up. You are not, I don't know, you have to be out of this world, like supernatural powers, mind controlling powers, to be able to be approved to every single process, to get in the last step of every single job application you make, right? So it's a game of numbers. It's sales. It's a game of numbers. You have to keep that in mind. You have to improve on every single stage, and you're gonna prove that. And I don't have like a lot of experience, but I was very insecure, and I had a lot of imposter syndrome. That's what made me be good in job application, because I was always afraid to being laid off and be fired, and I have to be good and get another job. And I actually become overemployed to hire other people that I thought would be better than me doing my job, and to keep the job. That's why I end up here. So the first time I had multiple jobs, I had only 3 years of experience, right? And I had 2 jobs, and then next month I got another 3, right? Because like I said, you have to align the whole process. Once you align everything, it's just a matter of time. You get like the key switch, and everything goes well, and you get the 5 or 6 jobs. Like in a matter of 7 months, I got seven offers, right? 7 offers, and all these offers were above 3 30 $3,800, right? 3,800, did I say right? $3,800. Yes.
3,800, yeah,
Good.
$3,800, yeah.
All then was above that. So, and that's the thing about the salary range you request is where you're going to be placed on. Is where the algorithm going to deliver you. I tested that when I was asking $2,000, the recruiters reached out for me for a $2,000 position. When I was asking 3,000, the positions that come to me was $3,000 position. When I asked it for, guess what comes to me? $4,000 position. I started asking $5,000 position. Okay, so that is something. I don't know if it's a negotiation thing. If once I ask the salary, they just accept it because of my profile. I don't know if the recruiter algorithm optimized for that, for my answer for the salary range I'm looking for, and they deliver my profile to people who are looking for profession in that salary range. I don't know if that's the case, but it's something that you have to have in mind, that you don't negotiate salary the way you think. You don't use a weird strategy. You have to decide your number, your salary, and keep with that and choose that. So if you want a $4,000 salary, just ask for that in period. Oh no, the position, he said the range is from between 3 and 5, so I'm gonna go for 5. No, go for 4, your salary. Just remove this stress from your process to keep consistent. And then once you decide, no, what, now I think I will go for a $5,000. Go for a $5,000 and ask for that. And you're gonna see start appearing ranges like, oh, this position is between 4 and 7. Just go for 5, what you decided for. That's good for you. Okay, and stick to it until you decide to move on and go for 6. And that's the negotiation part. And be consistent. I think everyone here is employed, right? There is someone here who is unemployed right now? No. So it's that. So it's or either you are going to find a better salary right now, or you're going to find a second job with a better salary. And that's a choice. You don't stick with position. You don't say like, oh no, this company is very good and nice, and I'm making $3,000, and no, you just do interviews. You choose yourself. Be selfish. Don't choose them, because they will not choose you. If they find a magic lamp and a genius appear, and the genius said to the CEO, oh, if I kill Eduardo, Henrique, and Gabriel, you sacrifice them, you're gonna have 1% more profit. Would you do it? And the CEO of Mercado Libre or whatever company, they're gonna say, yes, I do it. 1% more profit. I'm gonna kill Gabriel right now. I sacrifice him. So don't choose the company. The culture is nice because they need to be nice, because they need to keep productive. It's not for you. It's not for any employees. Choose yourself, and that's it. Your job is not your career. put that in your mind and choose yourself. And that's it. That's all I have to say.
Very nice, very nice. Guys, anyone wants to say anything else? Otherwise, we can wrap up. Any other questions? We can have time for our last one. All right, I'll take your silence as a no. So I want to first thank Henrique for being here and doing this presentation with us. All right, and I also want to thank everyone for being here. It is always a pleasure to be here and exchange all this valuable information with all of you. Again, Henrique, thank you very much. I already received your presentation. I will put it on a drive and make it available on our Discord and our website. All right.
Perfect.
Probably on YouTube too.
Awesome.
For anyone who has the link. So that will be all, my friends. Let's take a picture. And as you know, we do it doing our sign. 3, 2, 1. All right. Everyone, thank you very much. I hope you all have a great Friday and an awesome weekend. I'll see you guys back on Monday. The ones that I met just today, I hope to see you guys on Giga 2. Everyone have a great weekend. Bye-bye. Stay safe.
Bye, guys.
Yes.
Bye
Bye,
bye.
bye.
See you
Thanks,
guys.
Okay,
Henrique.
Henrique.
Bye, bye,
Thank you,
guys.
Nick. Thank you.